Hello, my name is Donna Washington, and I'm really, really glad to be sharing stories with you today. And I'm going to start by saying that this is kind of an odd way for storytellers to share stories, because we really like to play with audiences. We like to talk to you and hear you say things back to us and ask you questions. But we can't necessarily do that because you're wherever you are and I'm wherever I am today. But even though that's true, storytelling is not meant to be a quiet experience. You're not meant to sit here and stare at me like this, because I am not a television. Storytelling is meant to be interactive. So wherever you are today, while you're listening to this story, if you decide you want to participate, do it and go big. Go loud. And if some adult who's not in the room comes in and goes, "What are you doing?" you could say, "I don't have any choice. The storyteller told me I had to make a lot of noise." And maybe you could even get that grown-up to stay with you and play. Now, this story that I'm going to tell you is not a scary story. This story? Not scary. This is not a scary story. Is this story going to be scary? No. Okay? No. But before we start, let's just check in to make sure everyone's okay. If you are afraid of the dark, raise your hand. All right, I see a few of you out there. Okay. If you are not afraid of the dark, but you like a nightlight, raise your hand. All right, a few more. Okay. If you are not afraid of the dark, but you like the closet light to be on, raise your hand. Okay. Okay, there's some more of you for that. Okay, good. If you are not afraid of the dark, but you like the hall light to be on, raise your hand. That makes sense, right? Okay. And if you are not afraid of the dark, but you like the bathroom light to be on, raise your hand. All right. Now, if you're not afraid of the dark, but sometimes the stuff in the dark makes you a little nervous, raise your hand. Yeah. That's the camp I was in as a kid. I wasn't really afraid of the dark, but sometimes I'd wake up in the middle of the night. And has this ever happened to you? I wake up in the middle of the night and I heard a sound. I didn't know what it was. And because I didn't know what it was, that's what scared me. And when that happened, I would pull my covers over my head and I would pretend that I had television screens in every room in the house. And I would watch the screens. And so if I heard something that sounded like it was coming from the kitchen, I would imagine they were like witches making brew in the kitchen. And then I would get an imaginary lever and go chink, chink, and a trap door would open and boom, whatever it was would fall right down the trap hole and it would close. And then I would be listening for the next thing that I heard. And I would do that until I fell asleep. Now, I'm telling you that because it's going to become important in this story in just a second. All right, now remember, not a scary story. All right. Goes like this. Oh, and it's called The Ghost with One Black Eye. Okay, here we go. Once upon a time there was a teeny tiny ghost. Not scary, okay? And this teeny tiny ghost wanted to grow, but the only way a teeny tiny ghost can grow is it can scare someone. And teeny tiny ghosts, they cannot scare anyone. They walk up to you and they say, "Ooh." And that is not scary. So this teeny tiny ghost thought, well, what can I do? How can I scare somebody? And then it got an idea. I know what I will do. I will find a place to hide. And then when somebody comes by, I will make a noise. And they will not see me because I am very teeny tiny. And they will be scared. And then I can grow. See, remember I told you about when I was a kid and I just heard a sound. I know what it was. He's going to do the same thing. The teeny tiny ghost found the perfect place to hide. It was a family that had 5 people. A mom, a dad, 13-year-old girl, 7-year-old boy, and a toddler, which is like a little person who's just learning how to walk. And they had a basement, and in their basement, all they had was shelves. And what they used the shelves for was to store things if they had too much of something upstairs. So let's say mom went to this grocery store and went, oh, I think we need some more ravioli. And she got some ravioli, and she came home and she found out she already had enough in the cabinet. She could have one of the kids take the ravioli and take it downstairs and put it on the shelves. That way, if they ran out of ravioli in the kitchen, she could send someone downstairs to get a can of ravioli. See? They use it for storage, for extra things. The ghost figured only they would come down there one at a time. He would scare them one at a time. So he went down to the basement and he hid. And the next morning, he got a chance to scare someone. See, mom was making breakfast, and the 13-year-old and the 7-year-old were at the breakfast table trying to have an argument. And dad was over there trying to stop them from having an argument. And the toddler, well, he was in the high chair, and he was being impatient. How many of you are impatient sometimes? Yeah, I get impatient when I'm driving sometimes. I know I shouldn't, but I do. Yeah, well, he was impatient, and he was saying, apple juice, apple juice, apple juice, apple juice. Stop, said the mother. I'll get you some apple juice in a second, all right? I'm just trying to make some breakfast. But was still being impatient. So he said, apple juice, apple juice. Stop, stop, said the mother. I'll get you some apple juice in a second. He was still being impatient. What's the first thing he says? Say it with me. Here we go. Apple juice, apple juice, apple juice, apple juice. Stop, said his mother. I will get you some apple juice in a second. But he was still impatient. What's the second thing he says? Say it with me. Here we go. Apple juice, apple juice. Stop, said the mother. Fine, I will get you some apple juice. And she went to the refrigerator and opened it up. No apple juice. Don't even think about it, she said to the toddler. She turned over to the table. She said to the 8-year-old, will you please go downstairs? He's 7. She said to the 7-year-old, will you please go downstairs and get some apple juice? And he said, okay. So he went over to the door. And he went down the stairs. Pump, 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 pump. And the little ghost was in the basement. And he said, uh-oh, because he heard 7-year-old feet coming down the stairs, and he said, it is a 7-year-old boy. 7-year-old boys are hard to scare. They think everything is cool. But I would try to scare him. I would try. The ghost got ready. The little boy came around the corner, and the ghost said, I am the ghost with one black eye. You better run or you're gonna cry. And the 7-year-old went, and he ran up the stairs and he shut the door and he said, there is no apple juice down there. Well, the kid in the high chair was upset. What's the first thing he says? Say it with me. Apple juice, apple juice, apple juice, apple juice. Stop, said the mother. Stop. I know there's apple juice down there. I bought some yesterday. She turned to the 13-year-old girl. She said, will you please go downstairs and get some apple juice? And the 13-year-old said, whatever. And she went over and opened the door. And she went down the stairs. Pum, 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 down in the basement. That little ghost scared that little boy pretty well. He was now this big. He said, oh, because he heard 13-year-old girl feet coming down the stairs. He said, it's a 13-year-old girl. 13-year-old girls are scary. But maybe I could scare her. I would try. So the ghost got ready. And the 13-year-old came around the corner. And the ghost said, say it with me if you remember what he says. Here we go. I am the ghost with one black eye. You better run or you're gonna cry. And the 13-year-old went, and ran up the stairs and shut the door and said, okay, so there's no apple juice down there. And the kid in the high chair was upset. What's that second thing he says? Those two things. Say them with me. Here we go. Apple juice. Apple juice. Stop, said the mother. Stop, stop, stop. I know there's apple juice down there. I bought some yesterday. She turned to her husband. She said, will you please go downstairs and get some apple juice? He said, okay. So he walked over and opened the door. He went down the stairs. Boom, 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 boom. Down in the basement, the little ghost was this big. Oh, yes, he'd scared that girl pretty well. As taller than me even. And he thought, uh-oh, because he heard daddy feet coming down the stairs. He said, uh-oh, it's dad. Dads are hard to scare. They're very brave. But I can do it. I'll try. So dad came down the stairs and he came around the corner. And the ghost said, I am the ghost with one black eye. You better run or you're gonna cry. And dad would, he ran up the stairs. He shut the door. He said, yeah, but baby, I didn't see any apple juice down there. Well, the kid in the high chair was really upset. What's that first thing he says? Say it with me. Apple juice, apple juice, apple juice, apple juice. Stop, said the mother. I know that there is apple juice down there. I bought some yesterday. You people don't know how to look for anything. I will just go myself. So Mom went over and she opened the door and she started going down those stairs. Pum, 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 pum. Down in the basement, the ghost. He was huge. He filled up half the basement. And he heard mommy feet coming down the stairs. He went, uh-oh, it's Mom. Moms are pretty hard to scare. They don't put up with anything. But I think I can get her. I'll try. So he got himself ready. And Mom came around the corner. You know what the ghost said, right? Say it with me. Say it loud, say it proud. Here we go. I am the ghost with one black eye. You better run or you're gonna cry. And Mom went, oh! And she ran up the stairs and she shut the door and she said, I seem to have forgotten to buy apple juice. Well, the kid in the high chair went, she said, don't even think about it. So the kid in the high chair took his high chair tray off and he climbed down and he went over to the basement door. And he got over there and he opened the door and he looked down the stairs. So he sat on the top step and he started butt scooting down the stairs. Boom, 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 boom. Down in the basement, that ghost was ginormous. He took up all the basement. He was oozing out the windows. He was getting ready to leave when he heard the toddler scooting down the stairs. Boom, boom, boom. He went, ha, 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 ha. It's the baby. Ha, 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 ha. Babies are easy to scare. I'm gonna scare this kid so bad he's gonna pass out. The ghost got ready. And the kid finished scooting down the stairs. Boom, boom, and he stood up. And he went around the corner. And the ghost said, one last time, loud as you can, here we go. I am the ghost with one black eye. You better run or you're gonna cry. The toddler took off his diaper and raised it above his head and started swinging it around and said, if I don't get some apple juice, you're gonna have 2 black eyes. And the ghost went, and shrunk down to a teeny tiny ghost and gave the toddler the apple juice and went out the window. And that is the story of the ghost with one black eye.